velvet, trimmed with flawless fur. At his waist and throat were clusters of gem, for Gaspar was a wealthy man. Those who watched saw only that he paused by the stable door. He prays, they whispered. They saw Gaspar's lips move, but they were mistaken. They could not see that it was the angel Gabriel, guarding the holy place, before whom Gaspar stopped. "And who are you?" The voice of the angel was firm, but not unkind. "I am Gaspar. I have come to worship the king. All who enter here must bring a gift. Have you a gift?" "Indeed I have," he held aloft the finely wrought box. It was small, yet so heavy that his arms could hardly raise it. "I have brought bars of the purest gold. Your gift must be the essence of yourself. It must be something precious to your soul." "Such as I brought," Gaspar spoke confidently, with a hint of a smile upon his lips. "So shall it be," said Gabriel too, as he also smiled and held open the door for Gaspar to enter. There, before the rough board wall of the stable, lay the king he had traveled so far to see. The light of the lamp fell across the tiny face and glinted back from dark, bright eyes. In the shadows sat parents, motionless and silent. Beyond them, Gaspar sensed the presence of sheep and oxen who stood in reverent watch. Gaspar advanced a step, then another. He was just about to kneel and lay his gold before the child when he stopped and stood erect. There in his outstretched hands lay not gold, but a hammer. Its scarred and blackened head was larger than a man's fist, and its handle of cinery wood was as long as a man's forearm. But, "So shall it be, and so it is," said Gabriel. "You have brought the essence of yourself." "A hammer? What foul magic is this?" "None but the magic of truth," the angel said. "What you hold in your hands is the hammer of your greed. You have used it to pound wealth from those who labor so that you may live in luxury. You have used it to build a mansion for yourself while others dwell in hovels. You have raised it against friends and made them into enemies, and against enemies to destroy them." And suddenly, Gaspar knew the truth, bowed with shame, and turned toward the door to leave. But the angel blocked his way. "No, you have not offered your gift." "Give this? I cannot give this to a king." But you must. That is why you came, and you cannot take it back with you. It is too heavy. You carried it for too many years, and even now your arms ache with its weight. You must leave it here, or it will destroy you. And once again, Gaspar knew the angel had spoke the truth. But still he protested. "The hammer is too heavy. Why, the child cannot lift it." "He is the only one who can." "But it is dangerous. He might bruise his hands or feet." "That worry you must leave to heaven. The hammer shall find its place." Slowly, Gaspar turned to where the Christ child lay. Slowly, he placed the ugly hammer at the baby's feet. Then he rose and turned to the door, pausing only for an instant to look back at the tiny Savior before he rushed out. The waiting world saw only the smile that wreathed Gaspar's face as he emerged from the stable. His hands were raised as though the wings of angels graced his fingers. That much the world saw, and so the story is told. The learned Melchior, he was not so resplendent as Gaspar. He wore the darker robes of a scholar, but the length of his beard and the furrow of his brow bespoke one who had lived long with the wisdom of the ages. A hush fell over the onlookers as he too paused before the door. But only Melchior could see the angel who stood guard, and only Melchior could hear him speak. "What have you brought?" "I bring frankincense, the fragrance of hidden lands in bygone days." "Your gift must be something precious to your soul." "Of course it is." "Then enter and we shall see." Gabriel opened the door. Melchior stood breathless before the scene within. In all his many years of searching for elusive truth, he had never seen such a presence as this. He knelt reverently, and from beneath his robe he withdrew a silver flask of precious ointment. But then he drew back and stared. The vessel was not silver at all. It was of common clay, rough and grainy, as might be found in the humblest of cupboards. Aghast, he pulled the stopper from its mouth and sniffed its contents. He leapt to his feet. And faced the angel at the door. "I have been tricked. This is not the frankincense I brought." "What is it then?" "It is vinegar." "So shall it be, and so it is. You have brought what you are made of." "You are an angel of fools." "You bring the bitterness of your heart, the soured wine of a life turned grim with jealousy and hate. You have carried within you too long the memory of old hurts. You have hoarded your resentments and breathed on sparks of anger until they have become embers smoldering within you. You have sought for knowledge, but you have filled your life with poison." As he heard these words, Melchior dropped his shoulders. His face turned away from Gabriel and fumbled with his robe as though to hide the earthen jar. Silently, he sidled toward the door. "Wait, you must leave your gift." "How I wish I could. How long have I yearned to empty my soul of its bitterness. You have spoken the truth, my friend, but I cannot leave it here, not here at the feet of love and innocence." "But you can, and you must, if you would be clean. This is the only place you can leave it." "But this is vile and bitter stuff. What if the child should touch it to his lips?" "You must leave that worry to heaven. There is a use even for vinegar." So Melchior placed his gift before the Savior. And they say that when he came out of the stable, his eyes shone with the clearest light of heaven's truth. His skin was as smooth as a youth's, and he lifted up his face to gaze on horizons he had never seen before. In that, at least, the story is correct. There was yet one more visitor to make his offering. His shoulders as firm as an oaken beam, he walked as one born to command. This was Balthazar, leader of many legions and the scourge of walled cities. Before him, as he grasped it by its handle of polished ebony, he carried a brass-bound box. A murmur ran through those who watched as they saw him hesitate before the door. "Look," they whispered, "even the great Balthazar shows reverence before the king who waits inside." But we know that it was Gabriel who caused the warrior to pause. We know, too, the question that he was put. "Have you a gift?" "Of course, I bring the gift of myrrh, the most precious booty of my boldest conquest. Many have fought and died for centuries for such as this. It is the essence of the rarest herb." "But is it the essence of yourself?" "It is." "Then come, and we shall see." Even the fearless Balthazar was not prepared for the wave of awe that struck him as he entered the holy place of the Christ child. He felt a weakness in his knees, such he had never known before. Closing his eyes, he knelt and shuffled through the straw in reverence. Then, bowing his face as near to the ground, he slowly released the grip of the box handle. Balthasar raised his head and opened his eyes. What lay before him was his own spear. Its smooth and round staff glistened from the sweat of his palms, whereas the palms had moistened it. Its razor edges of steely tip caught the flickering light of the lamp. It cannot be! Some enemy has cast a spell! That is more true than you know. 1,000 enemies have cast the spell on you and turned your soul into a spear. Do you think I like to kill? You angels know nothing of this world. I am a defender of my people. Were it not for my spear leading them into battle, they would have been destroyed long ago. The angel paused before he spoke. Living only to conquer, you have been conquered. For a moment, Balthasar hesitated. Then, taking control of himself, he reached down and grasped the spear and turned toward the door. I cannot leave this here. My people need it. We cannot afford to give it up. Are you sure you can afford to keep it? A long moment passed. Finally, Balthasar loosened his grip. Then the spear dropped to the floor. But here? Is it safe to leave it here? This is the only place it is safe to leave it. But he is a child. The spear is sharp. It could pierce his flesh. That fear you must leave to heaven. And they say that when Balthasar went calmly from the stable, his arms were hanging gently at his side. They say he first walked to Gaspar and Melchior, where they waited and embraced them as brothers. Then turning to the others who watched, he went first to one, then to the next, enfolding each in his outstretched arms, as one greeting beloved friends whom he had not seen for a very long time. And now you know the whole of it. The truth of the tale as it has been told, and with deeper truths of the tale as it actually happened so long ago. But what of their gifts, you ask? What of the hammer, the vinegar, and the spear? Strange gifts to give a child. Strange offerings to lay before a king. Well, there is another story about them and how they were seen once more. But the hour is late, and our stories have been many. So perhaps that is a tale which must be told at another time.